In the shadow of time, among the crumbling stones of ancient ruins, lies a question so haunting, it challenges the very story of civilization itself. How could a people living 5,000 years ago have wielded technology that rivals, and in some cases surpasses, our own? Recent discoveries are beginning to paint a picture of a world far more advanced and far stranger than history books dare to admit. And what scientists are finding buried in forgotten ruins is nothing short of shocking.
It begins with precision. Across Egypt, Peru, and Mesopotamia, researchers have uncovered blocks of granite and basalt so perfectly cut, so immaculately polished, that even today's diamond-tipped tools would struggle to replicate them. In fact, some of these stones reveal microscopic striations consistent not with chisels or hammers, but with high-speed machinery. Could it be that ancient engineers possessed lost methods of stone cutting that remain beyond our grasp? Or is it evidence of a technology buried with time, one we've only just begun to rediscover? The deeper we look, the stranger it gets. In 2017, archaeologists excavating a site in Turkey, older even than the pyramids, found massive stone pillars at Göbekli Tepe, carved with symbols and aligned with celestial constellations. Yet this site dates back over 11,000 years, long before the wheel or writing were thought to exist. How could hunter-gatherers build something so mathematically complex, with astronomical alignments still accurate today? It suggests knowledge of the stars and engineering capabilities that should have been impossible. And Göbekli Tepe is not alone. Across the world, ruins whisper the same story. Someone, long ago, knew far more than we assume. Then there are the machines. In 2022, a controversial discovery shook the academic world. Copper and ceramic artifacts pulled from Mesopotamian ruins, resembling primitive batteries. Devices that, when reconstructed, actually generated electricity. Were these the world's first batteries, used perhaps for electroplating, medicine, or even rituals meant to dazzle with sparks of divine fire? If so, then the story of electricity doesn't begin with Edison or Tesla. It begins thousands of years earlier, in temples long reduced to dust. But perhaps the most chilling clues come not from objects, but from architecture itself. The Great Pyramid of Giza, towering over the desert for nearly 5,000 years, contains inner shafts that align precisely with Orion's belt and the North Star. Hidden chambers have been detected within its limestone walls using cosmic ray scans, voids large enough to conceal rooms yet to be entered. What lies sealed inside? Ancient writings hint that the pyramid may not have been a tomb at all, but a kind of machine, one designed to channel energy from the Earth itself. Some physicists now speculate that its unique geometry could have amplified natural frequencies, turning the monument into a resonant power device. If true, the greatest wonder of the ancient world might not be a grave, but a forgotten technology. And Egypt is only one piece of this global puzzle. In South America, at Pumapunku in Bolivia, stones weighing over 100 tons are fitted together with interlocking precision, like the components of a modern machine. The cuts are so exact that a single razor blade cannot slip between them. Archaeologists still debate how such megaliths were transported, carved and assembled without cranes, wheels, or iron tools. Recent studies suggest these blocks may have been poured like a form of ancient concrete, their crystalline structure altered by techniques we don't yet understand. If that's true, then the ruins of Pumapunku hold a technology we've only begun to rediscover in our own laboratories. Meanwhile, new scans beneath the sands of Saqqara in Egypt reveal vast networks of tunnels, some containing mysterious metallic objects unlike anything catalogued before. Scientists hesitate to draw conclusions, but one thing is certain. The ancients were experimenting with materials and methods we never expected. So what happened? If advanced technology existed 5,000 years ago or earlier, why was it lost? Some scholars point to catastrophic floods and climate shifts at the end of the last ice age, which may have erased entire civilizations. Others suggest that knowledge was deliberately hidden, sealed in labyrinths and pyramids, waiting for us to rediscover it when we were ready. And the rediscovery is happening now. Every year, ground-penetrating radar, satellite imaging, and cutting-edge excavation uncover more evidence that challenges our understanding of the past. Far from being primitive, the people of 5,000 years ago may have stood on the shoulders of giants, heirs to a forgotten science that once lit the darkness, moved mountains, and shaped civilizations with tools we can barely imagine. The ruins remain silent, but their stones still speak. They whisper of lost technologies, hidden chambers, and civilizations that rose to astonishing heights before fading into mystery. The question is no longer whether advanced knowledge existed in the deep past. It's how much of it survives, buried beneath the sands, waiting to be found. And if our ancestors achieved such wonders once before, could it happen again? Or are we only now beginning to climb back to the heights they once knew? Because to walk among the ruins is to confront a truth that shakes the very foundation of history. What we thought was the dawn of civilization may only be its shadow. The discovery of advanced technology in ruins dating back 5,000 years forces us to rethink the limits of ancient innovation. But Egypt may hold the most baffling secrets of all, where newly uncovered artifacts reveal lost technologies that defy all explanation. Step with me into the heart of these discoveries and uncover what history has tried to forget.
And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
We see them in textbooks, these iconic images: sand, ramps, legions of workers straining under the desert sun. We're told they built the pyramids, stone by colossal stone, with nothing but muscle, rope, and wood. But what if that story, the one we've accepted for centuries, is wrong? What if it's not just improbable, but physically, demonstrably impossible? We're not talking about moving small stones here. We're talking about blocks weighing as much as 1,000 tons, transported hundreds of miles, hoisted hundreds of feet into the air. The Colossi of Memnon, 720 tons each, from a quarry near Cairo. Think about that. That's the weight of a modern building. How were they moved over 400 miles? Or this, the shattered remains of a statue that once weighed over 1,000 tons. A single piece of granite. It would take the largest truck, an engineering marvel of today, to even think about moving it. The official story crumbles under its own weight. They say sleds, but wood would pulverize under that pressure. They say boats. But no ancient vessel could handle that load, even if they could sail against the current. So what are we left with? Lost technology? A forgotten cataclysm? A civilization far more advanced than we ever imagined, predating even the pharaohs? The stones themselves whisper a different story. Saw marks, drill holes that defy explanation, evidence of a precision that shouldn't exist. We think we know our history, but the truth is etched in these silent giants, a mystery that challenges everything we believe. They stand as a testament not just to human ingenuity, but perhaps to something far more profound. They are a challenge, asking us one very important question. What do we really know?
We're taught that ancient Egyptians built the pyramids with ramps and sledges. But what if I told you that the accepted story is not only improbable, but potentially impossible? What if the truth is far stranger, hinting at lost technologies and a history more complex than we ever imagined? We're not just talking about moving a few big rocks. We're talking about stones weighing up to 1,000 tons, 2 million pounds, transported hundreds of miles and hoisted hundreds of feet in the air. And the Egyptians? They conveniently left us zero explanation. No blueprints, no diagrams, nothing. Let's start with the Great Pyramid of Giza. Inside, you'll find 70-80 ton granite blocks, sourced from the Aswan quarry, over 500 miles away. We're talking about stones heavier than a modern Abrams tank, used not just for the base, but in the King's Chamber and the Grand Gallery, hundreds of feet above the ground. The Diary of Mira, a 4,500-year-old papyrus, does describe limestone transport by boat, but these were for smaller blocks and a much shorter distance. It is a far cry from proving the movement of these much larger granite stones. Even Herodotus, the father of history, who visited Egypt centuries later, only describes the use of levers for lifting stones to build the pyramid, a totally implausible explanation, as you will soon see. But Giza's giants are dwarfed by other enigmas. Enter the Colossi of Memnon in Luxor, 2 seated statues, each carved from a single piece of quartzite, weighing a mind-boggling 720 tons each. They stand over 60 feet tall. You have to see them in person to grasp their immensity. Their pedestals alone weigh hundreds of tons. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. These statues originally came from a quarry near Cairo, almost 400 miles away by road. How did they get to Luxor? Modern Egyptologists point to the Nile, but there's a glaring problem. No evidence exists of any ancient Egyptian vessel capable of carrying even a fraction of that weight. Plus, they would have had to sail against the Nile's current. The idea that these were dragged on wooden sleds is equally absurd. The sheer weight would have crushed the wood and embedded it into the very earth. We're talking about forces that defy our understanding of basic physics, especially with Bronze Age technology. This starts us down the path of questioning. Did they have help from technology that has been lost to time?